Who are we? What are we? My name is Moji Shortbaba.
Yeah.
I am a gospel artist.
Yes.
And all-round entertainer.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm a child of God. And I'm happy to be here.
Karibu.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Cyco. I'm an artist, content creator, podcaster. Yeah. I'm the guy with the fuel.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
so call me.
Now, these guys are here to talk about something amazing, but we'll take the chance to talk to them about music.
Yeah.
Let's start with Moji. Mm-hmm. So when did you realize that music is the thing you really want to do?
It's a thing.
Yes.
It's a thing I want to do professionally, or it's like an interest I have?
Interest.
I think I was in primary school. It's like story of wasanii wote. Like all the artists are like, when I was in my mom's womb, just used to hear music. But for me, it was I think in primary school where I realized like it really intrigued me when I used to listen to like Kiss FM station radio. When I used to listen to like radio and I'll be like, wow, I'm really there recording with tapes. Remember guys sisi wenye tulizaliwa 90s into the 2000s.
Zile tapes alafu unadab juu.
Yeah, unadab juu and stuff like that.
Wazee.
Ulikuwa na iPod. Walkman. Your time it was a Walkman. So that's when I realized I had that interest. And any time, like, I can even now remember like moments when I was a child where certain songs were playing.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then I was like, how can I? And then, start asking yourself, can I write? Ooh. So primary school into high school, I started writing music. Yeah. Of course, formed like 3 or 4 groups with guys because you can't do it alone. 3 or 4. As if that's the most boyish thing to do.
Yeah,
if you have an interest, you form a crew like of 3 or 4 guys. Mnajichocha, tukajita Christian camp and stuff like that.
Kelele takatifu.
Kelele takatifu came later.
Oh.
Kelele takatifu came in high school now. By the time we were forming Kelele takatifu in high school, we were sure this is what we want to do with our life.
Wait, you were making money in high school?
No, but we were what? Let me say tunnel vision. Tunnel vision was in high school. Like in Form 2, I was really like, if somebody gave me a record deal right now, probably quit this school thing.
Wait, tulikuwa wale wasanii wa high school wenye
were serious. Wale weekend challenge.
Hey.
We're there.
Yeah?
Like Shuleki come, everybody in the school knows this guy is an artist.
Oh. Cyco?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. So what's the question? How we started music?
Interest, the
interest. Mm-hmm. I remember from a very young age, I was very quick to capture melodies. And one of the songs that I'll never forget that I crammed the melody was by Hardstone. I don't know if you guys know, there was an artist called Hardstone.
Okay.
Back in the 1940s.
Wait.
Yeah. She was like Hardstone in the yard. Something like that. So from a very young age, I was very good with melodies. And this was like when I was 7 or 8. But, just listening to music, following up with the trends, mostly in gospel. And then now in high school is when we decided to also form a crew. I was in Upper Hill School. But, at that time, we were just singing just for the girls. Like when you go to funky, at least now, I would have vibe sana. Yeah. Like, already your performance is kupatia points.
Have
the job.
Shadu have the job. So kina Moji wakingangana huko kusema sijui hobby zao ni nini. Mimi siongei sana,
The dicks.
Yeah. So in high school, it was more of just a thing that we used to do for hype, just to get the girls and all that stuff. But then now, after high school, we started saying that this is something that's taking us somewhere, and we became very serious about it. So we started recording music professionally, and this was like in 2009.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is like 2009.
So what was your breakout song?
Oh, man. As a group, we had a song called Champion. It was called I'm a Champion. That broke out in like 2012. But then we also had now another bigger song that broke out in 2015 or 2016 called Some More. Now that's the popular, like that's the one that now took us to like outside Nairobi and all that stuff.
So why did you guys break up?
Because we formed the group at a very young age. We started the group at around 17, when we were about 17 or 16. Mm-hmm. So, at that time, nobody's so sure about what they want to achieve. So by the time guys are turning 25, it's a bit more clear on what you want to do. So other guys wanted to do other stuff. So we used to sing with the Dapper Brother. The Dapper Brother right now is a content creator, an amazing content creator.
Yeah.
Clinton, who's an amazing video director. And now there's me, who also now started doing my own solo music.
So you're the only one who just stuck into music?
Yeah, I'm the only one who just stuck with me. I've always loved music, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Moji, mbona muli break up?
Na Kelele takatifu.
Yeah.
No quality time, I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, when we start these groups, you're like, what, 16, 17?
Yeah.
So by the time you're 25, by the time you even start hitting 23, you're not like fully grown like men now. You have your own thinking, you have your own. And at that time, you really have to work hard for you to agree, you know? Because now, you know, that whole like everybody focusing on different things manifests in so many things. Imagine too, like how if you're not headed towards the same direction, so many things come up, you know, so many petty small things and all that. So but it was like, yo, Niaje, instead of us to skumeki to hivi, let's just go separate ways. It's ministry.
Yeah.
We can work together with two boys, but the group setup couldn't work.
Are you the only one who still does music in the group?
Well, he still does music. His name is Didi Man. An amazing artist. You guys can check him out.
So what are some of the challenges you guys face in the industry?
Right now?
Yeah.
I think everything you can think of: political instability, pandemics, war from neighbors, Nigerians. Well, I mean, gospel has been going through a transition of sorts. You know, like we're having, I don't know, man. It's like we're having like a change of guard, I presume. So we're having new guys come up, and now it's like, I don't even know how to put it, man. I just know like there's a shift in gospel such that now there's been a deep. There was a time gospel was like so hyped up.
Yeah.
But then that has been a bit slow in the past few years. So it's like we're trying to establish those structures again.
Yeah.
And now it's like rebuilding, you know. So it's like, you know, that story for the Israelites when their temple was you remember Siari? Yeah, so I think that's one of the challenges and all. But of course, MCSK is a constant. Like, you know, that we'll always struggle with MCSK.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the few ones that we face.
Yeah. I think I really like support his answer really. Like, of course, MCSK goes down to like policy really. Like the policy in supporting the music industry is really like crazy. So it doesn't, and so it's not just gospel. It's just the arts and the creative industry. The
So
policy is messed up.
Yeah,
the government really hasn't really like. I don't think they have ever sat down and said like, let's seriously solve this problem. And then now with the gospel industry, of course, what he said, like so much controversy, like. More bad news than, you know, like when you talk about gospel, when you say gospel artists now, guys, some guys are like, you know, and that really isn't like that. It is what it's all about. Like gospel music should be about, you know, giving hope and all these other things. It shouldn't be like the term gospel artist in aqua like those guys, you know.
So Mbona most artists are moving from gospel to secular?
Mbona, I don't think that can be.
According to us.
Yeah. We can only speculate. You can't say like this is the reason because everybody started on their own. Yeah. So by the time everybody started going individually, like guys are going differently. But I think it's a series of issues that happened. Yeah. It's also a change in like everything, social media, like all these things affect us. Everything's like how the world moves affects everything. So like social media came and everybody just went crazy, right? Yeah. You guys are like, you know, I just can't release a song. Me and Ben have to fight at race offices, you know, and you are there just stopping us, and then the next day you drop a song and stuff like that. So, like, I think everything changes everything, but I think more than anything is that now to get a bit more spiritual is that is a transition that's happening. Like guys were living because some were just not, maybe they were never really like sold to the vision of being a gospel artist anyway. So
but do you think their shift is vile unasema gospel was up here but now it's down? Do you think that your shift ni kama inaachomea as the gospel industry?
Oh, definitely, man. You know, money is also at the center of it. You know, if at that time gospel would, there was a time gospel had a lot of money. Like even clubs would have like a 2-hour session mix for gospel DJs. So a club would have like a DJ, and then in the midst of their set is like a 1-hour set by a gospel DJ. Yeah. And those days, you know, like there was more money coming into the business, into the industry. Yeah. But now, after some events were withdrawn, some sponsorships were also withdrawn. We used to have Groove Tours. Groove Tour was stopped. And now that whole thing changes a lot of things. So a lot of guys say, you know what, we can't just stay here struggling without money. So they decide to switch on to the other sides because
the support really went down.
Financially, mostly, yeah.
Yeah, but I like to differ just a bit with Ben. Yeah. There's still so much, because the drama that you see a lot in the gospel industry, it's actually mainly the urban gospel industry. Okay. You guys need to know even Shiroa GP is a gospel artist. You guys need to know even Zabron singers, even all these guys, even Christina Shusho is a gospel artist. So in the economy of things, and even the guys who left gospel they were the top guys. So they were making money already, right?
Yeah, they were.
So, and there's still commercial value. If you go to the Skiza logs right now at Safaricom, gospel is still up there in terms of revenue and all that. I believe some people thought that the gospel was almost like a pond and they wanted to conquer new markets, right? They were like, I'm already the biggest gospel artist. Yeah. Now I think I can be the biggest Kenyan artist, right? Because even now, like if you go to any corporation that's selling either music, that's distributing, even if you go to the apps that run here in Kenya, gospel is still up there in the charts. We might not be where we were, but we're still way up there. Like you can say, okay, so there's maybe Nigerian music, there's maybe bongo, and then there's maybe gospel hapo hivyo. Like we're still up there. But sasa all this drama, of course, affected certain people who already maybe didn't like the gospel or already had issues with us being that top. Or they're like, okay, now we don't like these guys. Now let's pull out. But now what we're praying is that especially the urban gospel industry was affected. But so River Roduko still... Them are still crazy balling.
The River Road guys have an existing model, but I'm talking about look at, let's say, like look at the activations that are currently happening from EABL. How many artists all of them, they have like 10 artists right now. We have I don't know if I'm allowed to mention brands, but we have a festival around them that happens in October. We have Safaricom that launched Safaricom Music Base. How many gospel artists are there? Maybe 1, 2? And how many secular are on that? You get? So the withdrawal of sponsorships and all that also, it trickles down and it affects a lot of things. So it's also for the gospel side to just come up with an ecosystem that can sustain itself, which definitely will have to involve the church and other stakeholders as well.
Would you say you earn, like you make a living off gospel? You have, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But does your music, like, do you earn a living mainly through your music?
Yeah. I do other things, but music is my main thing. That's what I do. Performances, digital sales, and all that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It might not be the way we want it to be, but still, you can still earn from gospel music. You can still do gospel music as a ministry too, and you can still. What we're saying is that all these issues affected how things would be, like whatever. Like there were more resources coming in. Honestly, if you look at the Groove days, if you look at all those days, like if you go back 10 years or 7 years ago. The investment was crazy. Like all these corporations, telecommunications were in it because it was really big. So even now we can, but the challenge we have, actually the biggest, is that when an industry is not thriving, it is very hard for the smaller artists. You know, when an economy is thriving, from the biggest to the smallest. So right now you find like the smaller artists to crack it, or the smaller artists to make it or to make something.
The cake is smaller now.
The cake is smaller, exactly. So that's the whole thing. So even now, like with even the Chesa Gospel Festival and all these things we're trying to do, is trying to create platforms for everybody to come in and to try to basically, it's gospel and it's ministry, but it's sort of like trying to make the cake bigger and making sure, even music discovery and trying to say, we have more artists in the gospel industry more than these 5 guys that you keep talking about, right? We have like, I don't know, over 1,000 guys, and guys like me and Ben Cyco. Steady releasing music. If you go to Ben Cyco's YouTube, you'll find a lot of music there that can really amaze. And I think the guy is working on an album. He's about to shock this world.
Okay.
And I did an EP last year. One album in and all those things, and we're checking music every day. So, and I know sometimes really like what we have is guys who lost faith in the industry, and we're like, these guys, man, there's so much drama, man. But we're trying to tell guys, niaje. We're trying to the fact that we're gonna do better soon. There's already too much music. There's already a lot of people doing good things, but they're being stifled by all this drama. So, like, if you want to talk about gospel artists, the first thing everywhere I go, every interview is, hey, are you going to secular? Why did these guys go to secular? Let's talk about something else.
But I'm choki kuulizo hivyo, by the way.
it's the story, right?
Yeah.
So what we are praying is that we can be able to do stuff that can be able to override that story. Because news is really when a man bites a dog, right?
Yeah.
So people live in the gospel industry, it's a man biting a dog. So guys are like, yo, why is this every other time? But I know for sure in a couple of years or in a couple of months, the story is going to change.
Do you make money off of it because you're a content creator, you're a voice artist, you're a digital marketer? Do you make money off your music?
He also has an M-Pesa shop.
Yeah.
I
mean, hardware. I told you how to hit me up. I still make money from music, interestingly. But of course, a lot of it still goes back inside the music, and still can't compare it with other things like podcasting, content creation. Like it's almost it's incomparable.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing about doing gospel music, it's gospel music is a faith thing.
Yeah.
And faith is a soul thing. It's really a matter of life and death. So it has to go beyond. It has to go beyond you making money or anything else. It has to be that thing that you do. Really, you feel like that's the thing that you give the world, and it's your gift to God as well. So I think if you join like the gospel industry with the attitude where that if you don't gain, you will quit.
Yeah. That's how
that's how you end up switching to the other side once the money doesn't come in.
Yeah.
But if you stay there and you stay rooted, like the following you get is people start trusting you on a spiritual level. Like you're their leader, man. Like you can't just be doing you can't break their hearts. They have so much hopes in you. Sometimes it's a bit unrealistic, but people tend to just have expectations because
So how do you juggle being a content creator and also making music? How do you do that?
Oh man, that's like the hardest thing. I don't even think I've cracked the balance yet, and this is like 3 years in because once when I started doing this podcast starts taking off. So you have to create content for the podcasters. You create content on Instagram, people love it. You still have to create content, and that is actually a huge commercial revenue. And then now there's music, and people still complain because I drop songs. Like I dropped a song 1.5 months ago. Now I'm supposed to drop another one, but I want to get to a point where I'm dropping them like on a monthly basis. If we can be able to crack that, it's a lot of it's not that easy because, and you see, with every arm of my brand or myself, I have a different team. So we have a team that we work with podcasting, and then now I have a whole new team that we work with music. I have fans who don't know that I'm a podcaster. I have fans who listen to the podcast and they don't know I'm a musician. So it becomes so interesting, and it's just like one of the most interesting things. But I know with time, I'll crack it, and by me cracking it means that we have a new podcast every week. We also have a new song every month. So that's a well-oiled machine that has to crack.
Pick a side, because that sounds very hectic. Do you even have free time?
So I have to be very intentional about my free time. Like most of my evenings, you won't find me on social media. I'm just watching maybe a movie, just trying to ensure my mind is sane and it's stable. Now the question of why not pick a side is that, like you do something and people really love it, or you end up loving all of them and you're good at them. I think this is one of those things where God gave you many gifts. You're going to be accountable for all of them. So it is what it is. You have to do it.
So what's the future of gospel?
What's the future of gospel music? I think it's the future of gospel music is also, like what Ben said, is that it has to also transcend you making money.
Yeah.
Because again, at the core of it all is the message that the music carries, right? And I guess that's why guys get really disappointed when a gospel artist switches.
Yeah.
Because the emotional attachment is not that you entertain me, it's that you encourage me, you
direct
stuff like that. So when you switch up on me, it's very emotional. That's why guys get very feisty about when a gospel artist, like people are okay drinking or doing whatever, but if a gospel artist does it, it's like,
because the music is very personal.
Why would you do that? I listen to your song every morning before I start my day, right? Or I listened to your song when I was going through a very tough season. So that's why I think it has to, artists have to realize, the new artists coming, and even us, we have to realize that whatever we do, just because we accepted the calling means that there's a bigger responsibility behind what we do, right? There are guys who are like, yo, Niaje, me, in fact, I'm trying to do better because I listen to your music. So the moment you fall off, and we struggle, we're not perfect, but we have to always work on ourselves, knowing that as much as I have my own struggles as a person, I have a responsibility. So I have a responsibility to the people that listen to me. There are guys who have followed you since high school and stuff like that, and they've always been like, this guy's music has really pushes me to be a better person in life. So I think that's one. We have to realize, for every gospel artist, it transcends us making money, it transcends us being celebs and everything like that. It's deeper than that. And when we realize that and concentrate on giving guys what they need and what God wants us to do, then I think everything else is going to fall into place.
True. Do you think you guys are in the spotlight more compared to secular artists because, it's gospel?
Of course, people have certain expectations of you, but I mean, I don't like that getting to my head, also putting so much pressure on me. Like, I'm a human being. I'm just like you, man. Like if you're attracted to these things, I'm probably also attracted to those things. It's just how I manage myself. So there's that expectation to it. And maybe just to echo what Moji said, you see, when you do gospel music, it's very spiritual. And so, like, for example, I've met people who tell me very deep stuff. So, like, the other day I met a lady who told me that she had a miscarriage, and my new song is what took her through that season. Do you know how deep that is? That at the lowest point of her life, she chose to come to you for and she doesn't even know you. She came to one of the things that you created, That means it transcends just vibes and all that stuff. But the beauty also about it is that once you do it consistently and now it picks, secular becomes very hard to catch up with you, because now you're talking to the old people, you're talking to the young people, you're talking to the middle people. You're literally a voice of the nation. So it now gets to a point where you are almost political. You are a political force. You get so gospel has its challenges, but by the time you get there, that's where a lot of people give up. But once you get to that, look at people like Ruth Wamoyo, man. Like, she started saying, like, in the 90s. This is 2022. She's still really dropping fire music. Look at Sarah K. Sarah K has a prayer meeting that happens on Nairobi Cinema every Tuesday. So let me put it this way. It's like having an artist do their gig every Tuesday, and people have been coming for that gig for the past 2 years. It means this is way influential. So people kind of tend to lose it in between, because it requires a lot of patience as well. Like, you have to trust the process. You have to show people in the legit way. You can't just cut corners. You can't, like, maybe do some shady stuff just to ensure your music gets played or all that stuff. So that's where a lot of people lose it, and that's the big challenge. But once it's up there, even on Skiza, gospel music is still unmatched on Skiza, on streaming. Even MCSK still say that one of the highest paid artists is still Chibalonza. So it's gospel music is special to people. So even the way you carry it, even the way you write it, has to be special to them.
Studio. Now tell us about this amazing thing happening this weekend.
This amazing thing happening. So this amazing thing happening is called Cheza Gospel Festival. Where, again, it's just about that, Cheza Gospel, because I'm a firm believer that true gospel music, again, carries the Spirit of God, and it can encourage, it can heal, it can even rebuke, it can do so many things. So based on that, I released an EP last year, and from the EP, I was, God gave me the idea of doing just to do a festival, call a couple of your friends, gospel guys, like-minded individuals, and let's come together, come up with one beautiful afternoon of gospel music. Different artists, diverse. So we have guys who do raga, hip hop, all these things. So we have Ben Cyco is one of our performers. This guy is crazy. He's bringing in, dancers from Ghana. Remember that thing, my heart was beating like the tom-tom drums. He's gonna be performing with some tom-tom drums. But we have amazing guys. So I'm gonna be performing. Ben Cyco is gonna be in the house. We have Guardian Angel, David Wanda. We have Masi Masika. We have Gavi Royal, Jabiti, Mohanji. Like, it's a cocktail of, like, amazing artists. We have guys who do hip hop, guys who do music like the music that Ben does, very chill and and all nice. Music that makes you feel like, yo, I'm ready to attack this day. We're ready.
Now, before you leave Give us some details about any music you guys are about to release.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, I'll be dropping a song in like a month with one of the favorites, with one of the female artists. She's a favorite to a lot of people. So it's a surprise, but it's gonna be a dope. I hope it's gonna be a song. It's a dope song.
It's a dope. No. It's a dope
song.
Did
So
you shoot
I've heard it. It's
that's
a dope
really
song.
shuku, man. So watch out for that one. I'm actually waiting for the script from my director. So if anyone is near Steve Mugo or wherever you guys are listening to this, just tell him I'm trying to reach him.
We're gonna
I
send
need the
goons
script.
to Steve Mugo right now.
Yeah, so watch out for that one.
Where can we follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Cyco,
Yeah.
BENCYCO. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
And your podcast?
And the podcast. So I have 2 podcasts. There's one called the Cyco Podcast. You can watch it on the Ben Cyco channel. Then I have a new podcast called the Joyride Podcast. I do with my wife on Jiru. You can find that on YouTube as well, and Spotify, and all other podcasting platforms.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think, me and men have been boys for a long time. We keep saying wife. I do this with my wife. I'm like, we're really married.
I'm not used to it. Like the other day I went to perform somewhere. And I forgot to introduce her. I forgot to even mention her.
Like everywhere I go now, because when I'm going to churches, they're like,
The dad is the one who actually, so why did you forget to,
I don't mean, like, when pastors invite me nowadays, they're like, come with your wife. That whole thing. But it's just weird for me to hear that. But yeah, well, plenty of music coming through.
Yeah.
I think 1st of May, guys should watch out. There's a huge surprise that's coming out. So guys should just ngoja. Lakini kwanza, cheza gospel festival kwanza.
Yes.
And then after that, tunatiririsha mziki. My album is coming out. I'll announce when. Second album. This one's gonna be special. So it's gonna have the Tom Tom drums from West Africa. But anyway, follow me at
Ghana dancers.
the Ghana dancers. They're all gonna be that album. It's gonna be crazy.